I started learning tango when I was 29. At the time, I was working as a portfolio manager at an elite investment firm in Boston. I had a six-figure salary, my own private office, a gorgeous brownstone apartment with a walk-in closet. Clearly, I had it all. Until one cold day in December, when in the middle of a tedious, droning, conformist day at the office, I had the sudden realization that my soul had vacated my life. I looked around, and all of the successful people that I knew were trapped in the trade-offs of their jobs, addicted to caffeine, exhausted all the time, and disconnected from any real source of inspiration. At that critical moment in my personal history, I realized that I had a choice to make: stay on the path to permanent zombiehood, or start a campaign to save my soul. I set out to travel the world, going wherever I could get good tango. When I danced tango, I found qualities that had been dormant since I was a little girl. I was so playful and creative and open and curious and eager. I had utter clarity that I had to do whatever it took to be fully alive. So I became a tango gypsy for the next 18 months. I learned firsthand what Brene Brown meant when she said, "Connection is why we're here. It's what gives purpose and meaning to our lives." Argentine tango is the most beautiful and dynamic expression of connection I've ever known, and it makes my heart burst open. The nuances of this social art form are a rich metaphor for how we connect to partners in life. Think of your invested relationships: a significant other, a business partner, a close friend, a parent, and imagine that with each person, you are dancing your own unique dance. I'm fascinated not only by how we connect to partners, but also with what happens when partnerships cross-pollinate to create community. We humans are social animals, and we are wired to seek not just relationships, but to belong to a tribe. What matters is not why we are connecting, it is that we are connecting. Tango dancers are connection junkies. When you think of tango, you probably think of stage tango, which is done for show and it's choreographed. There is a whole other form which is totally improvised and done socially. There is a whole subculture of people across the planet who are dancing tango every night of the week for the sheer joy of it. We dance for ourselves and not for an audience. And when we go to a dance, we change partners all night, so we're always adapting to different people. There are no set patterns or figures. It's like a language where we learn the basic elements and then how they make sense together. At any given moment, the leader can invite an endless range of movement, and the follower responds in a way that invites a whole new set of possibilities. It is a conversation, each dance a unique creation, never again to be repeated in exactly that way. This is a truly engaged partnership. To create this, both people have to bring certain qualities to the party. We have to be strong and independent in our own dance. I can't lean on him. I have to move myself with my own power and take responsibility for my balance. When I do this, I can be moved but not knocked over. When my partner feels that I am strong and balanced, he has the freedom to dance and be himself. Now, we have to be strong in our own dance. We have to learn impeccable technique and steps and musicality, but we came for the connection. Connection springs from two things: being present and being open. This is not about what we're doing. This is about how we're being. Being present means we fully inhabit the moment. We're constantly letting go of what happened before in order to keep creating. And we're not worried about what's going to happen because we're going to get there. And when we do, we'll be totally alive in the moment, again and again. We have to both be open. So because at any given moment, he could lead us to move together, or just my leg moves, or I pivot, I have to have an open mind for all of these possibilities to exist. The leader has to be just as open. He doesn't control the dance, and the follower is not passive. He invites movement and creates space, and the follower is free to respond in her way. And we both have to be open-hearted because when stuff doesn't work, which is inevitable, we're kind to each other and to ourselves. When we are both strong and present and open, we are free and we bring out the best in each other. The results become the highest possible outcome. One of my great dance partners in this life is my mom. When I traveled, she took care of my dog, Kaya, whom I had rescued after she had been found on the road with a broken back. As a young dog, she was totally active. I used to say she moved like water. She was so graceful. But after only a couple of years, her spinal column became pinched by scar tissue. The disability set in fast, and before I could get home, she was collapsing in the back end. I came home to a different dog. Half the muscle in her back legs had disappeared. She was incontinent and she couldn't wag her tail. She was 3 years old. I looked at my mom, helpless and bereft, and said, "How bad is this going to get?" I'm glad now that I didn't know. Kaya suddenly had so many needs that I couldn't cope with it all on my own. My mom and I started experimenting with booties so her feet wouldn't scrape. We built a sling, and we learned about doggy diapers. At that heartbreaking moment in my life, my mom and I both had to be strong and present, and I had to be open to receiving her help. My mom is my hero, and sometimes I can't believe how much she loves me. Just as we need each other, great partnerships need other people. It's impossible to learn tango only by going to private lessons. We go to practicas where we work together. When my partner and I are struggling with a step, we ask for help from others, we exchange ideas and get perspectives. Even advanced dancers continue to do this. In personal and business relationships, maintaining a variety of connections gives us dimension and allows us to bring more to the table when we come back to exchange with our partner. I also avoid the trap of trying to get all of my needs met by one person. While this may seem efficient, it's ultimately way too much pressure, and the relationship will suffer. When great partnerships cross-pollinate, community is created. It is the exchange of social norms, experience, and spirit that imbues a strong sense of character among the members. This social fabric is knit together by values that we share and pass on to one another. On my tango travels, I would spend a month in Montreal, the West Coast, Europe, several months in Buenos Aires, and I never spent one single night in a hotel. I had access to the most generous community of people who thought the fact that you're in their town for tango is a good enough reason to give you a place to stay. At first, I had a really hard time reaching out. I've always been sort of shy about asking for favors. Do I deserve this? But I noticed that people were genuinely happy to help me, and I learned something really valuable. Asking for a favor creates a bond, and I stopped being afraid to ask for what I need. It's not being needy, it's being real. Freely exchanging needs and resources creates the kind of social capital that solidify a community. A thriving community is one where we invest in each other for the sake of the whole. When your business thrives, my business thrives. When I improve, you benefit. My abundance is yours. Tango is a nonverbal conversation where we say so much. What we want is to touch another and to be touched, to be seen and accepted for who we really are, and to learn ourselves, our nature, and our truth through the exchange with another. This is the grand unfolding of humanity, and it is a vast interconnected evolution. It's through connecting with others that I have found my true strength, my presence, my openness, and my community. It's been a wild ride since I left Boston on a leap of faith, and there have been moments of pure bliss and moments of tragedy. It's the support I've received from other people time and again that has given me more faith than ever in the goodness of life. I hope the next time someone reaches out to you, a little voice inside says, stay open, and you choose to connect. It's why we're here. Seek connection, and your path will lay itself down at your feet. You could walk down the path, but while we're here, we should dance.